welcome to the Bright Minds of E-commerce podcast. I'm Dana, founder of Bright Red Marketing, your e-commerce advertising specialists. Today we are here with Scott from Okendo. Okendo is a customer review platform with an incredible amount of customization options. But this isn't just a podcast about Okendo, I promise, but the power of reviews and especially user-generated content and how to best gather these powerful pieces of marketing. If you can't tell, I love using Okendo with my clients and I'm excited to share more about the power of reviews today. So let's get into it. Welcome to episode 14. Hi, and welcome to the Bright Minds of E-commerce podcast. Today we are here with Scott, who is the APAC Key Account Manager for Okendo. Hi, Scott.
Hello, how you going?
I'm good. And you?
Very good. Very excited to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. We are big fans of your software platform. So for everyone who doesn't know, what is Okendo?
So Okendo is, in a nutshell, a review and social proof platform. There's kind of been an evolution in reviews, and we're kind of bringing that to the table. Mm-hmm. And it's quite a complex kind of software that kind of takes you to the next level. So we're really excited to speak more about it today, and I guess understand what that next level is and how you can use it as an e-commerce platform.
Yeah, wonderful. So we're obviously big fans of reviews. So tell us a little bit about the background, how it came to be, and then we'll go into some of the nitty-gritty of the reviews.
So, yeah, definitely. So Okendo is founded in Sydney, Australia. It's got two co-founders. Both names are Matthew, which makes it really fun. But yeah, the I guess idea came about almost a decade ago, and it's been a journey up until today, where we are now in Australia and the States, which is a really exciting journey. Which, as we opened an office late last year, so big things coming.
Yeah, wonderful. So obviously you guys are all about the reviews. Can you give us a bit of an insight into why collecting reviews and user-generated content is so important?
Yeah, so I mean, there's two different levels, I guess, to what you just mentioned. So reviews, you think text, probably a 5-star rating, some text. It's basically reviews is social proof that other previous customers from a store have had either a positive or a negative experience, and that can be really insightful to those people to either give them confidence to say yes, or unfortunately to say no. So reviews kind of generates trust and authority in a brand. And we really, really want to encourage people to not only do reviews, but also to capture as much user-generated content or UGC alongside that. Yeah. And that's when I speak to that, I say, I mean photos or videos. So, that's proof is in the pudding. This is someone's uploaded a great 5-star review, but now I get to see them wearing it or even showing it off in a video. And that's just going to exponentially increase my trust that A, this is the real person, and B, this is how it looks, not in Photoshop or a really nice professional image, but on someone who wears it every day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from a Facebook ads perspective, we love when clients have access to reviews, user-generated content, and those sorts of things. So, and it does do such a good job at building trust on site. Now, one of my favorite features of Okendo, because a bunch of our clients actually use your software, which I'm sure you know, is that you've probably got a better name for it, the sliding scale. So there might be like 3 attributes of like fit, comfort, something. Can you kind of explain that to people who aren't familiar with your software, how that works, how they can customize that, and why it's so beneficial to businesses?
I would love to. This is definitely it gets me personally excited.
Yeah.
So yeah, you coined the term correctly. We call them attributes.
Awesome.
And effectively they are kind of points of feedback that any merchant can customize relevant to their product that they're selling. So if it's t-shirts, you create attributes to ask feedback for, say, the quality, the design, and the sizing. And then people can leave feedback on a scale of 1 to 5, or poor to excellent, or good or bad, you whatever you would like.
Yeah.
That's really insightful to taking it further than a body of text and a review, and that's just words. You're adding kind of an objective to a scale of some sort to that. And that can be, as I said, for the product, but it can also help at a customer level as well. So you can ask customer attributes. So you can ask the age, what are they using the product for? What's their, an example is what's their skin type? Because then you can take that information and use it to segment your database. Again, I'm sure super effective in social media marketing.
Yeah, definitely. And as someone who is a non-standard fashion size, I find that whenever any fashion store has your sort of review platform installed, it's so much easier for me to buy clothing because I can judge it based on, what body type they are and those sorts of things. So it's really helpful from a consumer perspective, but I also love it from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of a win-win for both parties. Prospective customers, you said, okay, Scott bought size 10, he's normally a size 12 because previously other people have said it might run a little small.
Yeah.
Situations like that, it's fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. So how does that sort of personal attribute side of things, so, if you bought the smaller size, or if I put in that I have curly hair or those sorts of things, can you use that information in another way? Like, is there a way that it links to other platforms and things?
So we're, Shopify broadly and at a top level is an ecosystem of apps, and we all like to work together because it obviously creates a better experience for the merchant and for people who have stores. It makes it more efficient and more automated. So absolutely, we can push those attributes to other platforms, and then, as I said, you can segment your campaigns based off that level of data.
Yeah, awesome. So in theory, if you were selling, for instance, hair care products and you had a curly hair range and a straight hair range, you could then use that data, segment it out to your mailing list, and use that to make sure you're only showing the curly head people the curly head products, the straight head people straight head products.
That's exactly right, yes.
Which is brilliant from a marketing perspective.
Fantastic for product launches, really segmented campaigns. Even if you've got, not the biggest budget in the world, you can really be really granular in your targeting for, say, social media segmentation.
Yeah, definitely. Have you got any good examples, whether you name names or not, of businesses that have used this data really, really well and how they've used it?
Yeah, so I guess the clothing and beauty and skincare are probably our three biggest verticals or industries that use us.
Yeah.
I mentioned, we've mentioned it for clothing, sizing versus what someone's bought versus what they normally buy. But skincare and I guess beauty, they use it by understanding the skin type, the skin issues. They might, be prone to acne, or they might have oily skin, dry skin, etc. And because they have that knowledge, they can really push out segmented campaigns and targeted campaigns that cater towards those needs. Because someone who has oily skin is after a very, very different product to someone who has dry skin.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So are most people using, how do most people use the data? Are most people using it just on their website and then kind of filtering it through to their email segmentation? How are most people using the data that they get through Okendo?
Yeah, for the most part, it sits on their PDP or product page on the website, because that's where, all their marketing efforts, I guess, are pushing people, or a portion of their marketing efforts are pushing people. There are people who are using that to take it offline into other platforms. Probably email is the biggest one there. We've got an exciting integration coming out, which will probably help and benefit a lot of people, but that's in the works and will be released very shortly. But it's exciting to see what people are doing.
Yeah.
And even if they direct them to, say, a landing page and they've got a specific product widget there, just being very targeted in their customer journey and very well and thought out and strategic in what they're showing them across the path to purchase.
Yeah, wonderful. So just out of interest to you, I haven't actually told you this, we obviously have a lot of clients that use Okendo. So I just went through some data and pulled out some data for you. So we obviously pull out the reviews and the user-generated content that our clients use from a Facebook ads perspective. And we compared some ads with reviews to ads with no reviews. So the cost per purchase of our ad that we ran with no reviews was $5.50 with a 4.6 times return on ad spend. The one with reviews had a $4.60 cost per purchase and a 6.5 return on ad spend. So there's more than $2 whole extra dollars per dollar spent coming back just from using those reviews to cold audiences on our ads.
That's fantastic.
So just further proof that you really need to be having, reviews and using them across the board.
Yeah. I think the notion or understanding that from merchants is that, there's, for a majority, there's a movement away from, say, large social media influencers, and it's moving towards micro influencers. And I think it's the same for reviews. People want to know how it looks on the everyday person rather than a $50,000 photo shoot. That looks amazing, but it doesn't really hit home for a lot of people.
Yeah. Especially with clothing and fashion and things, people really want to see what it's going to look like on them, not the size 0 model. It's such a difficult thing to buy online. So the more you can show it on other people, I suppose the better your chances are of converting that and it looking good on you if you've bought it at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's taking away the inability to try clothes on, from a bricks and mortar store. It's probably the next best thing, if not better, because you're having a conversation, a one-way conversation at least, and you're speaking to people who've already purchased it and they're leaving their feedback for you to check out.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So if, for instance, if I'm just starting out, how important is it to get reviews on the site? Like, is that the kind of thing you want to launch your site with, or is it something you can kind of add later? And if you are an existing business, is it something that you really need to add? Like, how soon do you think people should be adding these kind of review capture?
Yeah. So, Shopify as a platform does, up to 80% of what merchants need. They have their own apps, they have mail, they have Kit for social and launches, but they also have Shopify reviews. It costs nothing, absolutely nothing, and it's I would definitely count that as an essential feature or application to run if you're just starting out or looking to kind of add reviews. Check that out. What we do on top of that is obviously have more complex and advanced features, and we can integrate with other apps, etc. So when you're ready to take it to the next level, definitely consider looking at, hopefully Okendo, but taking it to the next level. But from a starting point, definitely look at Shopify reviews, because the commercial nature, from studies, from reviews, is that I think it was 80% of people look at reviews before they purchase online.
Yeah.
And from our commercial analytics and GA tracking, it's roughly about 2 to 3 times more likely to convert, relevant to industry, if they engage with reviews, because they're that much more confident.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so say someone's listening to this at the moment and they have a review platform already, but they like the sound of Okendo, they want to give it a go. How easy is it to transfer from one program to another? Like, if you've built your business for the last 5 years using the free Shopify reviews, is that something that's easy to transfer, or is it quite a difficult process?
It's a common concern. Obviously, people have done the hard yards and they might have generated a bank of thousands or hundreds of reviews, and they're really nervous of losing that.
Yeah,
it's not a concern to be worried about, because it's something we do day in and day out. And what you do is you just simply export those reviews in a CSV or Excel file, and you simply import it into Okendo. It can be as simple as a 2-step process.
Oh wow, okay, that's good to know.
Yeah,
awesome. And I know a lot of businesses really struggle to get reviews. They might not, they might be just starting out, they might not have a lot of sales orders coming through, or they might be quite established, but their customers for some reason aren't leaving reviews. Is there any kind of suggestions more in general to get your clients to be more review happy, I suppose?
Yeah. So, there's, I guess, two sides. So you obviously need to be having sales traffic or volume for people to obviously leave reviews. So, let's solve, that's probably, I guess, where you come in and grow that awareness. So, you do your thing then and crush it. And once that sales start coming in, it's then about building a community. If you are a brand that has a really strong identity, people love to help out others. They want their voice to be heard. They're confident in their new product. If it's a piece of clothing, then they're really, really likely to leave a review.
Yeah.
If you're perhaps in an environment that perhaps doesn't have that level of engagement, there is a possibility to incentivize reviews, provided that it's a commercial decision from your end. It doesn't obviously eat into your bottom dollar too much, but there's absolutely the ability to automate coupon delivery if they leave a review, as well as upscale that discount if they add a photo or video. So it's really, really strong strategy to increase customer UGC. If that's something which you're really striving for, say in the next 6 months, definitely look to do that.
Yeah, awesome. I'm assuming that's something that Okendo does, that's built in.
Yes, it definitely is.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are some of your favorite features, or maybe the lesser known features of Okendo, or even just review platforms that you think people should use more often?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that we can group reviews. So, you see it often with product catalogs who have, say, the red T-shirt and the blue T-shirt as two distinct products.
Yeah.
They're not set up as variations. If they are the exact same product but just different colors, feel free to share reviews across them, because the quality, where they're made, the sizing is going to be the exact same. But if you don't have, if for some reason the red shirt is 10 times more popular, then that blue shirt is continuously not going to get brought because the social proof isn't there for it.
Yeah.
So you can share reviews across those through our grouping functionality, and that's hugely popular in that fashion and apparel industry.
Yeah.
But it does obviously reflect and is available across any vertical.
Yeah.
And the same thing is when you're at the level of having regional stores. So I say that the Australian store, the US store, the UK store. Likewise, you can share reviews across all those stores, even though they're separate Shopify accounts. So, if you're just launching in the US and your Australian store has been running for 5 years with, great success, you don't have to start from ground zero in the US. You just simply, we call it syndicate reviews from the Australian store to the US store.
Awesome. I think that'd be a huge help, especially for that, going international, or, if you've launched one T-shirt in one color and then you're launching it in another, or you've got, those sorts of products that, as you said, it's just a different color. The quality in that is the same. Can be a really good way of building up that social proof pretty quickly.
Yeah. And also we see a lot of people have, I guess, seasonal catalogs or seasonal products. The new one comes in 2021. You don't lose all the reviews from the one in 2020. You can either move them or you can group them.
Yeah. No, that's really good to know. Do you have any last minute review generating strategies or things that maybe we haven't covered that would be helpful to our listeners?
I think a lot of people, so Okendo has an internal email engine which automates review request emails post-purchase.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think, not neglect, but don't look into enough the email body copy, the email subject, the design of the email to really capture the attention and open rates of that email. So if you think it's a set and forget thing, it's just not something I would recommend. I would constantly look to try optimize that, and be tweaking that as much as possible.
Yeah, well, you obviously see a lot of those emails. Any strategies that you found work really well?
just personalization.
Yeah.
Nobody wants an email that has been sent to the whole database. You want to know that it, or at least it looks like it was personalized to you. They know what you bought. They know your name. Maybe they know what country you live in, and you have a different email that reflects that information.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in marketing for a very, very, very long time, and it still amazes me how often I'll get a response to a mass email and someone has responded as if it was just written to them. And it's always kind of really nice because you're like, okay, we've done something well.
Yeah, I think it reflects amazingly well on the brand.
Yeah. So I suppose if you're trying to get those reviews, the more you can be like, hey, we really hoped you liked it. If you want to share that feedback, making it as personal as possible. As you said, I think that's probably a really great way of doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Yep. All right. So we're just getting to the tail end where we get a little bit more general and a little bit more about you. Obviously, you work with Okendo. What are kind of your secret strategies, routines, or habits that just kind of help you stay on track in business?
That's a tough one. Look, for me, for me, I'm very. I have to be at work to work.
Yeah.
So I'm a type of person that if the opportunity is to work from home, I'm probably still going to come into the office and do my hours there because that for me is my place. And as well as I like to, I don't know if anyone knows it who's listening, but I have the lo-fi chill step playlist going on in the background, and that really helps me get my work done. That's my special kind of music playlist. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how everyone's got such different music? My friend listens to like Metallica when she needs to get lots of work done. And some people listen to like acoustic chill music. It's just really interesting what music gets people going.
Yeah. At The Big Short, I think the statistician listens to Metallica. I think it is. He just loves the rock music. And I anything with lyrics just doesn't cut it for me while trying to really concentrate.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Do you have any favorite business books?
So I was reading one recently, which was recommended to me by Jocko Willink, Leadership Strategies and Tactics. It's one which really makes you take a step back because often we find ourselves kind of executing day-to-day tasks that we know really, really well, but perhaps it isn't progressing us forward in the quickest way possible or in the most strategic way possible.
Yep.
So what I really like about that is it advises you to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. He calls it detaching from the situation. That's actually really hit home for me so far this year. And I try to, it is difficult, I will admit, but I try to do that as much as possible now.
Yeah, I think especially for anyone that's listening that's starting a business or, running their own e-commerce store, it can be one of those things where you get so caught up in the tiny little details of got to make the social media post, got to pack the orders, got to do this, got to do that sometimes it's probably really important that they get out and step back and look at the bigger picture. So it sounds like a great book recommendation.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Favorite podcast?
I think on a personal level, I'm a big crime fan. So Case File for me.
Everyone loves the crime podcasts.
It's definitely a trending,
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, but on the kind of e-commerce side, Add to Cart by Nathan Bush, just because he's Australian, he speaks to a lot of people who I guess is in the industry here, and has a lot of knowledge, both from his personal experience and then those he's speaking to. I think you get a lot out of them as well.
Yeah, awesome. And if anyone's wanting to get in touch with you about Okendo, wants to give it a go, how would people get in touch with you?
So there's a couple of different ways. We've obviously got a website, okendo.io. On there, we've got, support chat. We've got the ability to book a demo with me directly. And my email is also scott.goodman@okendo.io. So 3 different ways, both equally as responsive.
Yeah, awesome. I do know that the support chat, I've often ended up messaging that page and end up with you anyway. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's a nice little team you've got looking after that, which is great.
Yeah.
Just a quick little interruption. This episode was recorded a little while ago in preparation for relaunching season 2. And Scott has just informed me that we actually have a bigger and better offer for you. So we have just cut out his original offer and just wanted to let you know that there is now a 3-month free trial for Okendo if you did want to give it a go. We'll get back to it now. Enjoy.
As I said, we've got a number of our clients that use the software. We've had clients migrate from other platforms that they thought were doing really well. And then we had Okendo, and just the functionality of it is just so great for our clients. And then from a Facebook ads perspective, we just love pulling out the data and the reviews and the user generated content and those sorts of things. It's just invaluable to us from a Facebook perspective, but obviously does a huge job of improving, conversion rates and customer trust and those sorts of things.
Yeah, it is fantastic, and we love to see the results that people have. One new thing which is actually really exciting for us is we've just integrated with 460, which is a shoppable Instagram, awesome. Where we bring social proof into that sphere. So they're a Canadian-based business, and they're killing it. They've got huge brands under their under 460, and being able to kind of bring social proof and trust into the Instagram world is huge as well.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing so many, tips and strategies around reviews and user-generated content, but also giving us a bit of an insight into Okendo and how it all works. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me as well. It's been lovely.
Thank you for listening to the 14th episode of the Bright Minds of E-commerce podcast. Don't forget, we load all of the links and show notes onto our website. You can find everything at www.brightredmarketing.com.au/show notes/episode 14. The link will also be in the episode description. Thank you so much for listening.